Hello, and welcome to Advice for Beginning Mountaineers. I'm Dale Eichmeyer, and this is part two of the episode three on clothing discussion. If you have not seen part one, please take a look at it. In this part, I'll show examples and continue our earlier discussion of layering for alpine climbs. So let's get started. The underwear or underlayer is not normally called a layer, but we all use it except for a few eccentric free soles. So I'll include it here. Now, women, they can wear a sports bra, and I'm not qualified to discuss that and the options. So, women, do your research. However, men and women can wear a synthetic t-shirt under or in lieu of a base layer top. I personally wear a t-shirt under my base layer as it gives me more flexibility. Athletic type polyester briefs or panties. And remember, no cotton. Then I wear thin, silky socks that wick away moisture and reduce friction. They're considered part of the base layer. Polypropylene socks are a good choice. Now to the true base layer. The base layer usually has a top and a bottom that resemble snug-fitting long underwear. Whereas the traditional long underwear's purpose was insulation, the modern base layer's purpose is to wick moisture away and thus keeping you dry. Of course, as with any layer, there is some insulation value. To wick moisture, it should be close-fitting. If it is loose, it won't function as well and can chafe. Polyester is the least expensive option and the easiest to wash, but many claim that wool and silk are more comfortable, but they all serve the same purpose. The base layer top with a hood and neck gaiter is a plus, but not necessary if you have a buff or baklava. Sleeve holes that keep the sleeve from riding up your forearm is another nice feature. The mid layer, also known as the insulation layer, its job is to keep you warm. Obviously, it goes over the base layer. And depending on the seasonal temperatures, you can adjust the insulation value of this layer by going from lighter weight weaves to heavier weight as appropriate. Most people wear a polyester fleece as the top, although a wool shirt or sweater will work. A light puffy jacket over the base layer also works. The bottom are soft shell climbing pants that can be unlined or fleece lined. I have found that unlined pants over the base layer works well in all but winter-like conditions. And for your feet, wear a pair of wool socks over the silky ones. The final layer is the shell, either soft or hard, depending on the weather conditions. Again, the purpose of the shell is to protect the mid-layer insulation from the wind and precipitation. This shows a soft shell layer and is what I typically wear at the start of a summit climb when we expect dry weather. In part three, I'll go into more detail about the features of this layer. A wind and water-resistant light puffy jacket can also be your soft shell. But what if we expect precipitation or a lot of contact with wet snow? That is where the hard shell comes in. You need a hard shell jacket and pants, preferably made from some breathable but waterproof membrane. The pants should have a full length zipper so you can put them on over your boots and crampons while standing. But as a minimum, they should at least have a 3/4 length zipper. Pants with short ankle zippers just won't work. Note I've added insulated waterproof treated leather gloves to this layer. They can also be synthetic shelled gloves. I'll discuss gloves and mittens in more detail in a later episode. If I'm going to glissade down a snowfield, this is what I'll wear. And glissade is French for sitting on your butt and sliding down the slope. If you glissade in your soft shell, be prepared for cold, wet legs and bottom. And it is also very hard on your soft shell pants. While not a layer, a warm, puffy parka of synthetic or a down fill between 600 and 800 down is a must-have. It comes in handy during rust breaks to prevent being chilled and for emergencies or unexpected cold weather. Now I'll discuss a few items of clothing. A light balaclava is handy and versatile as it protects the face from sun and wind while reducing heat loss. A knit wool or synthetic fleece cap should be in everyone's kit. And remember the saying, if your feet are cold, put on a hat. Sunglasses with side shields or wraparound style are also must-haves. Don't climb without them. A hat for sun protection. I'll discuss hats in a later episode. Goggles, there might brings depending on the weather and what you expect. Now, I like to try to keep things simple. So here are some basic rules of thumb that you should know, and then match them with the particulars of your climb, such as season and the weather. That way you can make informed decisions on adjusting from these general rules. But remember, they serve as a very sound starting point. First one is 5 on top. Wear 3, the base, the insulation, and a soft shell. Put 2 in your pack, ready to put on if needed, the hard shell and parka. 3 on the bottom. Wear 2, your base and soft shell, with your hard shell pants in the pack. I use a layering system for my feet, a base layer sock, a mid-layer sock, and the boot, which is the shell. Socks reduce friction between the shell, your boot, and the skin, thus reducing the possibility of blisters. They also fine-tune the fit of the boot. Lastly, they provide some insulation. Now, if you think it's going to be cold and decide to layer on thicker socks for warmth and have to squeeze your foot into the boot, you'll have cold feet. Compression of the skin around the foot reduces the blood flow, resulting in poor circulation and cold feet. I'll discuss this more in a later episode. Now, beginners are sometimes tempted to use what they have or think will work, and that is okay as long as you understand the trade-offs. Skiing clothing will keep you warm. You just have to accept the drawbacks such as fit and weight. Alpine harnesses are optimized for the alpine environment, which is wet, snowy, and icy, and where you shouldn't be spending much time hanging in a harness. However, rock harnesses are the opposite. They're heavier due to the padding and take longer to dry after getting wet, but they are more comfortable if you plan on hanging in them. I hope this video is helpful and that you can now dress for an exciting experience in the mountains. Be sure to watch later episodes where I'll have an extended discussion on clothing and good climbing. Thank you for watching, like, and subscribe.